Welcome to Beyond the Box, where we unpack the world of packing, shipping, printing, and more. Whether you're shipping for business or sending a care package, we are here to help you do it with purpose and precision. So let's get right into it, because there's always more beyond the box.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode. I'm here once again with Adam and Jim, and today we are going to talk about how to pack the right way. Who would like to start?
Oh, Adam, I'm going to let you start this one. How to pack the right way.
You give it to us.
Yeah.
Simple answer.
Yep.
You want to start with there are carrier requirements for packaging. Basics are you need to have, especially for fragile items, you need to have at least 2 inches of packing material on all 6 sides of an item to be considered packaging. It's also about using the right materials. UPS does not recognize brown paper as a packaging material. So even if you have the 2 inches, but you're using brown paper, you can still have a claim denied because they don't consider it packaging material. There's lots of materials out there, and using the right one is of the utmost importance for any package, regardless of what the contents are.
Well, it's just like electronics. According to the UPS standards guide, they must be double boxed. So if you have a 1989 DVD player, by their own standards, you would need to bag it, bubble wrap it, box it, and then put that box into another box with 2 inches around it. That may be a little bit expensive for a $9.99 DVR or CD player, what have you.
Right. What can you tell us about the different types of packaging materials?
Well, a couple of the basics ones are air pillows, bubble wrap, and peanuts. I think are probably the most common.
Polyester, styrofoam, yeah.
We don't use peanuts anymore. They're just not as effective. I mean, we have the benefit of having the latest and greatest in technology, which is the liquid spray foam, which goes in as a liquid. It foams up to and molds around an item and then solidifies so that it keeps it nested perfectly in the center of the box. It absorbs shock and vibration, external pressure, while keeping it perfectly centered. I think the expression we use is it's kind of like the yolk in the center of the egg.
Well, the egg comparison is great because the shell of the egg is the box.
Yeah.
And then the yolk is the actual item, and then the white is the spray foam that's encapsulated it in there so that, anybody who's cracked an egg knows how hard it is to break that centerpiece once it's been hard boiled and solidified.
Yeah.
Right. We talked about the paper, air pillows, and if you're using peanuts are really should only be used for what we call loose fill. If you have a box that has, let's call it a teddy bear is inside the box, you use air pillows and peanuts to fill the empty space in the box. And it's not necessarily to protect the teddy bear. Obviously, if a teddy bear gets stepped on, it's not going to shatter. But it's about creating internal pressure inside your box. So that, if something heavy falls on top of it, say the box next to it is a 100-pound gasket or whatever it was that we packed up the other day falls on top of it, you want that pressure on the inside so that the external force doesn't crush it entirely. It's not about protecting the item inside. It's about making sure that your box doesn't cave in. Because obviously if the box caves in, box is now open, contents fall out.
Yeah, you're equalizing the pressure from the inside out to help keep that box. Because let's be realistic, cardboard is not really all that strong.
Right.
It's how you pack it inside that allows that casing, that shell of the egg, to gain the strength that it has.
And why can objects not move around inside the box when you ship?
So again, cardboard's not that strong. So if your item's banging around inside there, think about it. If I poke at him, it doesn't hurt. I poke at him, and I keep poking him. At some point, he's going to go, Jesus Christ, that hurts. Stop poking me.
Right.
Well, if you've got something in the box that's poking at that cardboard, before long, it's going to poke through.
Yep.
And then either the item's going to escape, or worse, that poor UPS driver picks it up and it swings out and hits him in the side of the neck or the head, or cuts him open because it wasn't packed properly. Who's liable at that point too? At some point, UPS could start coming back at the customer that sent it, because here's a guy making good money who's now out of work because of it.
Absolutely.
Right. And if it can move, it can break.
I like that analogy. It's the truth. And what about if I bring you a package and I write fragile on the side?
Well, you got two things about that. First and foremost, if we all remember the old Samsonite gorillas that worked at the airports, they've all retired from the airports. They're working at UPS and Federal Express, and they are not necessarily quite able to read. And unload is meant to be at a very high rate. Production equals profit.
Absolutely.
So these things are getting shoved out. They're not reading them. Packaging is the key. And Adam, you brought up a great point earlier before we were on air about how the system is designed. It's not always touched by humans. You've got huge hydraulic diverters. A guy hits a button and this diverter comes across and just crushes everything to put it to another belt. That's not going to read fragile at all. It's just going to push the boxes out of the way.
Right. Your packaging is the most important part. You have to package things for worst case scenario. And the conditions that it's going to face throughout shipping. It's going to get wet. It's going to get put underneath other boxes. It might even drop off the conveyor belts, which can be 10, 15 feet in the air above a concrete floor. And then absolute worst case scenario is the next box that falls off is over 100 pounds. You have to pack every item like you're gonna. We pack like we're gonna throw stuff off the roof.
Yep.
So it's designed to keep that item intact, to keep it in the center of the box, to keep it away from things that might poke through the box from another box. So that can get crushed by something heavy. We can take a wine glass, really thin glass, wrap it in bubble wrap, spray foam it inside the box, and I can stand on that box and jump on it, and it's not going to move.
I think you've had a video posted previously.
Yeah.
Of exactly a case like that.
Oh yeah, I think it was a pie plate.
You did a pie plate. I did a Donald Duck mug and dropped it off a forklift from 15 feet, and my Donald Duck mug survived.
Yep.
Thank
Pie
God for
plate
that.
survived, and it's designed to go through the trials and tribulations of the transit process.
Right.
And those, we'll keep calling them gorillas, I guess. Tossing those packages around and not reading that your thing says fragile and going, oh, hold on, I gotta gently place this one at the top of the pile. It's just, the reality is it doesn't happen like that.
And nowadays we all get Amazon deliveries. Their packaging does not seem to live up to the standards that you're describing.
God, no. No, I mean, Amazon's in a category all their own, but they have successfully totally broken down the concept of what real packing is. And they can do that for how they deliver because their system is so much different. They're not running them across conveyor belts and stuff. A lot of times it's literally pulled off a shelf, a label on it, and it goes into one of those little blue Amazon vans. And those guys are, not beating the stuff up. It's not taking the abuse of a traditional carrier. So that's a huge issue for us because when you get it with no packing and it's damaged, I can't imagine how it got damaged because it had no packing. But when you want to send it back, it's got to be packed to meet the carrier's expectations, whether that's UPS or Federal Express or the post office. They all have minimum requirements that have to be met. And it is a real tightrope for us to walk, trying to not put people push people away, but still trying to protect them. And Amazon has done an amazing job of degrading what proper packing is. And it's sad because it hurts everybody else.
Right. And like you talked, Amazon, we talked about this a little bit with when doing claims, is that, it's a lot different when Amazon has something that comes to you and it's damaged. It's, oh, we'll send you a new one.
Right.
It's not viewed the same way. Whereas, there's more responsibility in, these other carriers.
For sure.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. Well, it's a wrap. And next week, we are going to unpack shipping claims. Why they get denied.